the person doing the last time this time is Sam.
So last time, the party came back to Yugi with the Sadars. I forgot the damn word. God, why am I like this?
You're fine.
Decided they're gonna have some downtime. Silver took the Sadars back to their town, saw some interesting creatures there. And it was only like 5 minutes for her, or 20 minutes, whatever. Stuff. While that, everyone else sat there and discussed things. Everyone else was just chilling out at the tavern all day. And then all of a sudden...
It was basically a slice of life session, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Silver returned, and it was great.
Yeah, it was dark and stuff, so she missed a whole day. And she expected her 5 ales to be very warm, but they were cold. Because the other group, well, the main group, sat there and saw the other adventuring party that had moved in and built a log cabin in our town. So that's something. While we live out of a library in the tavern. So, and then Silver proceeded to get drunk.
It was amazing.
Yes, she attempted to get Cat to drink because Young had already drunk herself into sleep. She sat there and told a drunken tale where she got details wrong and stuff, but still made it like this big thing and stuff, bragging about how well everyone did. Stuff. And then afterwards, she passed out while attempted to take Young to bed, to a proper bed.
It was great.
Yeah. And then morning came around, everything was fine, headaches ensured, healing spells. Then we decided to make a plan on what to do, and now we're off to go take care of the rest of the Dahlia's temples. And they set off and started their trek. There was a few interesting backstory, bits or whatever. They picked up some items, made requests for items, blah, blah, blah. And now we're in the forest somewhere. Oh, wait, no. Then we came upon a circus and a smoky mountain.
Yes. Which, at the end of last session, you promptly decided that you were going to totally skip because who the heck cares about this place?
Oh, no, it's like...
They're not what we're here for.
Circus. Could be some creepy shit going on in there. Don't want to deal with that. Spooky ghosty mountain. It's just foggy.
Oh,
Logic.
Spooky mountains are foggy or just foggy? No, it's totally fine. It's not like they're called the Cursed Hills or anything. You guys make your way into the lovely town of Damapur. Can't do French properly, but that's kind of how their towns... I kind of wanted to do it with a French accent, I just...
Damapur.
Yes, that.
You have to say it with your nose.
Damapur.
So... Quick question for your lovely elephant in the room. Are you using your entertainment hat?
I mean, I'd probably be wearing a dapper-looking hat. I don't know if I would necessarily be in a full transform mode.
Okay. Anyway, so you guys make your way to said town, and you are greeted with a relatively small-looking town as far as structurally and whatnot. It was very much like Fumak. It's just in this one's case, there's a little bit more people and a fence and gate similar to like Rydale and Caverton. They're not quite as intricate as either one of those places. And upon making your way closer, you are greeted with a pair of wood elf guards. And I don't know who is going to be leading the charge here, we might need to adjust our tokens. I should have got a marching order.
I believe I could
Yes.
be in front.
Probably in front.
I'll plop Locke somewhere in the vague middle because he is not hanging in the back, but he is too nervous to have social activity, so he will not be in the front.
Oh.
So somewhere in the middle for Locke.
Something like that.
I'm happy with my relative location.
So we form a plus
Amen.
sign. Awesome.
Now, if we all like synchronize our movements, do we get a phalanx circumstance bonus?
What?
Don't worry about it. It's fine. So you guys make your way towards town. Silver in front, and the two wood elf guards sort of look in your direction as you're coming on the town, and they sort of look at your party, look at the group, then look at each other, and then the one on the right over here, he sort of stops the four of you or five of you. I can count.
I don't believe you.
And he is state your business here. You're just passing through. What do you intend to do here? He seems to be security, but not have been well trained for it. They are looking to you, Silver, because you are in the front of the group, and you, save for the Loxodons, you seem to be the most equipped.
Are we getting stopped from entering this town?
They were talking in your direction, and they would be more blocking the doors. Yeah, kinda.
We're just asking to state our business. Typical guard shtick.
She said something goes like, "We are just passing through the town."
All right. He sort of nods in return, and he's sorry to stop you like that. We've been having some security issues as of late, and just have to make sure.
What?
What?
Gas security with what?
We've been having some shady folks passing through our town as of late. None of your worry if you're only passing through. And they move out of the way.
Okay.
What was my alter ego's name?
Gotta grasp.
So as I pass by them, I randomly switch into Shadowgrasp, so I'm a shadowy character going by. No, I'm kidding. I don't.
Don't do that. That would not be smart.
God damn it, Cat!
Also,
God
Cad,
damn it!
Cad, if you would, make for me a insight check.
Uh-oh.
Specifically you.
Okay. Oop.
Not bad. Okay. So, yeah. They actually do, even prior to your shenanigans of speaking about your out-of-character moment of turning into Shadowgrasp and appearing to be a shady individual. The moment that the one on the right here had said, we've been having some shady folks passing through, you sort of notice that as he does that, his partner seems to be looking at you and at other members of your party that are not, essentially not human or elf, which is everyone but Locke and Silver.
That's good knowledge.
So you guys can move on in. And the guard on the left, he sort of, since you guys had said that you were just passing through and this was getting sort of later in the afternoon, he sort of indicates you to head along the road to the left. Fine, we'll say that there's one back there, it's fine. He sort of indicates for you to make your way to the road to the left, because the tavern is way back here, up in the top left. But yeah, one in the middle is actually not a tavern. The one in the middle appears to be some form of a church or monastery. But anyway, he sort of helps.
Roll a religion to see which one it is.
Okay, do that.
18. Is it a monastery or is it a church?
It's a church.
Okay.
Atheist pleb here. What's the difference?
It's just
Monasteries usually have mostly monks in them, while church actually has like clerics and worshipy people.
in
Right.
the
one punches people, the other wastes everyone's time. Gotcha.
in context, a church would be a place of, to me anyway, it's less that and more place of worship for the public, place of worship for a certain caste of people. In the traditional sense, ignoring D&D entirely, you have a church is a place where people would come to worship no matter what kind of walk of life they are, and then a monastery is a place where you have people that are sort of trained and come in and, you know, because it's like a Buddhist monks are not the same thing as a random Christian, and that's more than just a difference in religion.
A church is a public meeting place, and a monastery is more like a dormitory. The people actually live there.
Yes,
Okay,
that.
fair enough.
Anyway, that's what I was trying to say. Thank you, Kenneth.
Again, before someone erases it.
Hold on, is that a door drawn in at the back? Like someone forgot to put something there?
Yes,
Precisely. And don't knock it because it's a great gate.
ha ha ha. Anyway,
Anyway, with that 18, can I see if there's like any symbols on it of
yes.
like religion?
He is specifically a wood elf deity. Seldranine, I think. I would imagine that's how you pronounce that.
Probably. I have no idea who that is from a lore standpoint, but okay.
Or Sildarine.
So yeah, Seldarine. Fellowship of Brothers and Sisters of Wood is what it is in Elvish, apparently.
Like a hippie place.
You would probably, being that you're more of a worshiper of Helm and the like lawful based deities. This is more of a sort of nature themed wild deity. So, yeah, it would kind of fit that Silver would see it as essentially a hippie, close to it.
This god is a hippie.
Wood elves, it probably is.
And on that, everybody, there's no real perception required here. But Locke, you probably a little bit, particularly catch on to this because everyone in this town is either a wood elf, a human, or a half elf. There's absolutely nothing else.
This town's gonna see is Cad and the Furbog.
Huh. Yeah, that's odd and mildly alarming.
Okay, anyway, you guys can make your way to the tavern if you wish to do so, because it is rather late in the day, and most of the people seem to be milling about and making. And everybody notices, along with the idea that there's pretty much only wood elves, humans, and half elves. Most of the townsfolk are giving your party a wide berth, probably because of the Furbog and the elephant. But anyway, you guys can make your way to the town or tavern.
To the tavern. I can't think of
As we are walking through and I'm getting attention, I would be smiling and nodding very respectfully to everyone who passes and stares.
Alright then.
Like, hello, yes, I am not a threat. I am friend. Hello, yes, hello, hi, hello, respect, respect, respect. Don't eat me. I am friend.
Indeed.
Anyway. I'm assuming everyone goes to the tavern.
Yep, I can't think of anything. That's where I'm going.
Up a this away, up a this away. There we go.
Okay.
Assuming nobody wants to say anything or do anything, you are making your way uptown, up to the tavern.
Locke is holding his peace for now.
Other than just trying to be polite to onlookers.
Oak seems to be doing, sort of picks up on Cad and sort of does a similar sort of gesture to follow through that he is not any kind of a threat either. Though he is mildly uncomfortable by the fact that these people are uncomfortable with him. And Young sort of takes a different approach. She pulls up her cloak and then she just sort of sneaks behind Locke, but Locke is short. Clockwork.
Okay.
Well,
being
actually-
used as cover?
Yeah, kinda. Actually, you are taller than Young because you're like 5'2" or 5'3".
I'm 5 short, yes.
Yeah. You're just not wide. She's shorter than you, but wider than you.
So why is she hiding behind Locke and not behind the giant elephant?
I will look back at Yang and go, what the hell are you doing?
Hi there.
Right, and she goes over there.
I will look at her and say, better. But again, what the hell are you doing?
Don't like
So I
the weird
hoist
looks.
her up and carry her on my shoulders because it's adorable and everyone sees like happy people.
I don't
I'm
like
joking.
those. Young just sort of looks at Locke and she goes, I don't like those kinds of stares. It's not common, but it no. Especially with dwarves. She seems to be very much upset about the apparent racism going on. Anyway,
I'll then point out, they're going to stare at you a lot harder if they watch you tailgating this elephant man's ass the entire way.
fine.
Just walk normally and don't make a scene and you'll be fine.
Anyway,
There you go.
you guys make your way into the tavern. Right?
Mhm.
The tavern looks to be, standard run-of-the-mill tavern. It's. I don't know if you guys want to do anything other than get, like rooms and food and other such things. But yeah, the bartender is a wood elf, and he sort of sees your party come in, and he's like, "Oh, customers. We don't get a lot of those. At least not as of late. Well, we have plenty of rooms available in the back. No, he's not. And yeah, it's that we got plenty of rooms in the back, all for those of you with varying different sizes and needs and things, and yeah."
Do you have donuts?
Sure, I can make some. Not a common thing, but sure.
And just like that, my hopes are dashed. Because I was gonna have a reference, but okay, all right. I'll give them. All right. Just, do you do donuts? Yes. I'll take your entire stock. But, no.
Fair enough. All right.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
oh no, it's a hold up.
I'm sorry. I'm in a Mimi mood today. I don't know why. Maybe I just
It's
need
fine.
to sleep great.
So The rooms and things here, though it's not anywhere as extravagant as a place like Rydale or Caverton. The rooms here are going to be room and board. Is actually going to be different per person because it is a guard. Anyway, because it makes sense in this place. 1 gold for Locke and silver. 2 gold for young and 3 gold for the bigger people.
Okay.
Is it charge more?
They do.
Why are they getting charged more?
They are getting different spaces. Not in any way, shape, or form bad spaces, just different spaces.
Insight check. Is this person being a bullshitter right now? That's a 13.
He wants to make sure that everyone is accommodated to their needs. It's a sort of a situation of you have a culture in a small little town that has that degree of racism run rampant, and those people that are actually nice sometimes will overcompensate. So it's this idea of, well,
basically racism, but in the opposite direction.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So well-meaning, but
yes.
Okay.
Charging different for rooms, and Cad is okay with this. Oak is mostly okay with this, and you guys have rooms for the night. Following the next morning, everyone gets a good, solid, nice bit of sleep. And following the next morning, once everyone, I'm assuming people sort of come awake at different times. Silver tends to usually get up sooner than everybody else, I think.
That is, if she hasn't had a night of drinking.
Yeah, assuming that she hasn't drunk herself to sleep, which she did not here.
Nope.
And
Locke is just naturally a heavy sleeper, so he's just still out. A late riser, rather.
He's a later riser and whatnot. Yon comes down, so pretty much everyone is already down and inside the tavern except maybe Locke. And we see a half-elven woman, looks to be maybe mid-30s or so. And she had been having, as everyone was coming down, she had been having a very intense conversation with the bartender. And then she sees, like, the adventuring party, and she sort of looks in between everybody, and then weirdly comes to Cad. And she immediately starts to plead with you, and she's like, okay, so you're a Loxodon, you're a guard, you're from Caverton, that means you can fight, that means you can save her. Can you and maybe your friends, please? No one else will listen to me. I need someone to go save my daughter. She did not come back last night. I know she went off to that crazy circus. No one wants to believe me. And anyone who looks towards the bartender immediately sees him do like a facepalm thing. He's like, hey. Clearly not wanting to listen to her.
She said that she went off to that crazy what?
Circus.
Circus.
Oh, circus.
No one do anything?
Nope. Seem like most of the
Why?
people. if you still were saying that, are you asking either the bartender or her? Who are you asking? No one didn't-
Either. She's speaking loud enough to be heard by both of them.
Okay. So the woman at that the woman says, because no one will believe me that the circus is bad, and at the same time the bartender's circus hasn't done anything. She's just worried for nothing. Her daughter will come back, I'm sure.
I'm now annoyed that I'm not part of this conversation because I would immediately point out, have you ever met a clown?
They lure unsuspecting children with donuts.
How long ago did she leave?
It was
Like, how many hours?
maybe 5 or 6 at this point, early part of last night. And she told me she would come back. She told me she was just going to visit with some friends, but
Did you check to see if any of the other friends came back?
yes, all of them are home and no one has seen her. She lied to me and she went to that damn circus.
So why did she say she was going with friends?
Lied.
Did
She
the,
knew I didn't want her to go there because I know that place is dangerous. Locke, you're probably coming downstairs at about this point.
All right. So
Yeah, kinda. Actually, you're not far off with your statement there. She seems very confused.
All right, I'm stumbling down. I'm like, that's everyone yelling about. Oh, freaking like rubbing my shoulder. Slept on my arm wrong.
just the guards here won't do anything about a missing girl.
Oh. Details, miss?
Circus.
Oh, shit. Circuses. I hate circuses.
Have you been to a circus?
Have you ever met a clown?
No.
Pray that you never do. They're frightening.
Okay.
Look, nothing should ever be that pale skin with a blood red nose is all I'm saying.
Oak sort of looks at Locke and he's like, you do know that that's just makeup, right?
Yes, I know it's just makeup. That doesn't make it less creepy to look at.
I suppose that's a good point.
Okay, so I assume everyone kind of just gets me up to general speed on the situation. So, went missing last night, claimed to be going with some friends to just hang out around town. Rest of the friends are all safe at home. She is not. Current speculation, she ran off to the circus to just look around and lied because she knows you don't want her going there because you believe it's a bad thing. That about summarize it?
Yes.
Okay. What's her name?
She actually sort of... It's strange. She does actually sort of, like, hesitate for a second, and... daughter's name is Zephyr.
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 She's a subtle westerly wind.
Can I insight of why she was hesitant?
I would like to incite that as well.
18.
18. Nice. 9.
9.
Locke... So Locke, you're not entirely sure on it why she was hesitant. But Silver, you pick up on it. Similar to your name is not actually Silver, but you're Silver among friends. Zephyr seems to be something like that for her. It's a name that she likes better than her own. The reason the mother was hesitant was because her mind told her to tell her her real name, but if you're actually going to go look for her, she wouldn't answer to that name.
Do you know where we can find her friends?
There. She does give you essentially a couple different addresses where you could potentially go and find her friends.
Yeah, I would like to do that. Shall we go find her friends?
She actually gives you.
might as well.
She actually gives you a couple different addresses for like a different groups of friends. So in theory, if you wanted to, Oak actually brings this up when he sees that the mother presents a couple different addresses. I mean, we're safe in town, so I guess we could sort of split up and cover more ground that way. That way we could all speak to different friends and see if different people have different thoughts.
So, out of all of them, who do you think is the most worst influence for your daughter?
That would be Arlette.
See Arlette. Okay.
And Arlette happens to be in this house over here.
Cool.
Oak and Young will have some other character names, and they will go off into the houses down this way.
So, who's splitting with who?
Oak and Young are going together down here, and there's 2 other addresses. So in theory, it could be Silver goes off by herself, or the other house is this one right here, actually really close to the tavern.
I can stick with Locke.
Okay, I was figuring the PCs would stick together and the NPCs would stick together, but alright. Splitting the party.
But there's 3 places we're going, right?
Yep.
Enough. Okay, I guess Cad and I will go right next door.
Okay.
As we're getting ready to sort of do this, I'll ask him, so where can we find you when we get results?
And she actually does give you the address for her own house, which is this one down here, because why the heck not?
Okay, where are we going to meet up once we're done talking to these people?
Most reasonably would be the mother's house, because the mother has totally left the tavern at this point as you guys start to split up.
Yeah, mother's place probably a good idea. Meet there in an hour? Sound good?
Or however long it takes.
Right.
Alright. So, you guys go over here. Really not inside their house, because that would be rude.
Especially not through the wall. Hello, we are here to ask you questions. We'll pay for your wall. Are you child?
Child.
Alright. So, yeah. We will start with Silver. Silver, you go to visit, Arlette.
Oh, she's pounding on the door, just big whacks. She can't.
Kicking it in.
Yeah, and she's like, she's making it look like she's not happy and she's furious.
Hold on, I'm coming. And then there's like what sounds like someone that actually had fallen for a brief second, and then a roughly middle-aged-ish wood elf sort of opens the door, woman, and she's, "Can I help you?"
Yeah, Stover's sitting there looking like authority, and she's like, "Yes, I'm looking for one named Arlette."
That would be my son, Arlette. And from the from the stairway upstairs comes down a little wood elven boy.
How old does he look?
He looks to be, by your understanding of age, he looks to be about 7 or 8, or well, not 7 or 8, around like 12 or 13. But because elves age differently, does the whole Baby Yoda thing again. He's probably like 50 something.
Great.
But yeah, he seems to be relatively young, at least by appearances.
Cold stare as he walks down the stairs.
This woman would like to speak with you. What did you do this time? I did nothing.
I need to know where you've been in the yesterday evening.
Sure. I sort of went out with everyone else near the forest, like to the edge of the fence, so that we could all, look and see if there's any animals in the forest. He basically...
Are you sure it wasn't going to go see a circus?
I don't know anything about a circus, and that's very clearly a lie, which you and Mom pick up on.
19.
Yeah.
I was going to pick up on it anyways.
Yeah, you didn't even have to. And the mother sort of speaks up and goes, I don't think he went down to the circus, but he does know of one. Everyone does. The circus is a little different, and not everyone likes it, but it seems to be a nice place from what I can remember. What can we help you with involving the circus?
A girl that goes by Zephyr is missing. Apparently she did not return home last night. When was the last time you saw her?
You're looking to the kid?
Yes.
So yeah, you pick up on the kid, and he's sort of not even gonna have to make you roll for it because your attention's more focused on him. All right. The mom, you sort of look over to him just as he seems to have mumbled something under his breath that amounts to, "Did it?"
What?
He going to. I thought she was joking. She actually ran off. And now the little boy seems worried. So, okay. Zephyr, he all went there. Not yesterday, but a couple days before. The circus has been down there for a while. And y'all went there as a group because we're wanting to just circus. We had a chaperone. We had one of the guards with us. Most of our parents know that he sort of looks up to his mother. He just sort of rolls her eyes as if it's like this mother does not seem to be worried about the circus, so the fact that they went there a couple days ago wouldn't necessarily have been important. But or at least not at her at the time. And she's well, if you knew that Zephyr was wanting to go down that way, and why didn't you warn anybody? Maybe the guards could have been warned and keep a closer eye. I didn't think she would. I thought she was joking. I don't know why
have
she
you
would
seen any? Have you seen any mysterious people from the circus?
There's some of the people that work with the circus have come down for supplies. Everybody's seen them.
Anything odd about them?
Yeah, kinda. They're not people here. They're not. And this sort of registers with you, Silver. That this is a kid who understands that most adults in this town have that degree of racism, but he himself has seemed to learn somehow that racism is... It seems that the kids here, at least this one, is less inclined to be as racist as the rest of the town.
Okay.
But he seems to be trying to find a way to word it more eloquently, and he's only 12. So,
oh, so he's not pulling the Baby Yoda shtick. Good to know.
Well, he's not mature. I guess he technically wouldn't do that if he was actually 50. Anyway, yes, so everyone in the circus is different. That's kind of the whole point of the circus. It showcases it's good to be different. That's what they want to do, and some of the people here in town don't really like that, but a lot of people do. And
I'm not just asking about any of them looked suspicious, like creepy and stuff.
well, Ringmaster was weird. He had a bunch of like tattoos and facial markings and things, and he could fly, kind of. And there was this like cat lady that she was crazy. But I mean, they're not bad people, I don't think.
Until this issue is resolved, I suggest don't go near the circus.
Okay, I can do that.
Have a wonderful day. She turns and walks away.
Alright. So you turn and start to walk away from the house. But before you get all the way away,
Whoop.
Back and forth all over town. Tick, 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 tick.
yes, before you get all the way away, there's a brief pause as he seems to speak to his mother for a second, and then Arlet makes his way outside to follow you, sort of outside of the building, outside of the house and away from his mom. And he's, if you're going to go look for Zephyr, he's not a wood elf or a half elf or even a human or anything. He's actually looks a lot different, especially if he's staying at the circus now. Don't tell anyone here, because he's been taught so much to hide it, and then I think that's the reason she left.
What do you mean?
Like, so the whole thing about that circus is it lets you embrace being different. It's why a lot of people here don't like it. It makes them feel uncomfortable because, you know, they all want everything to stay the same. And and Zephyr, he's tiefling, not half elf or elven or anything. She's a tiefling, and she disguises herself to look like any other wood elf kid, or like actually, no, he doesn't say wood elf kid, he says half elf. She describes herself to look like any other half elf kid, but she's a tiefling. And when she saw all those people in the circus that were okay looking different, okay being different, she saw like this half orc that had all these tattoos and things, and he could fly. He had like these wings, and I don't know. And she went there because her mom wouldn't let her be herself. I don't think the circus took her. She just went there to get away from her mom. And I guess if you're doing some sort of thing to help her mom or whatever, maybe not just take her away, maybe talk to her like you did me, just to see if she's safe there, and is she can stay. I don't think the place is bad.
I will keep that in mind.
And like I said, don't tell anyone else here that she's not a half elf. That'll just open up another can of craziness. And
So her mom is a.
I don't know about her mom. As far as I know, her mom is a wood elf. Maybe her mom's using magic too. I don't know.
Okay. Well, thank you for the additional information. Remember, do all your chores and listen to your mother. Now, go on.
Right. And he scampers back inside the house.
Okay, and now she goes home.
So Oak, or not Oak, Cad and Locke, you go into this other home here. The name that was associated, the name of the friend that was associated with this home was Zudi. Zodi. Yes, Zudi. Z-U-D-I. Zudi.
Zooty. For a second there, my dirty mind thought you were saying duty.
So yeah,
that'd be a really cruel nickname for a kid.
Good. So you approach this other house. Is the elephant going to knock or trumpet, or is Locke going to knock?
I'll knock. Sure, why not?
You're the human looking one, right?
I'm the half elf between us. Yes, the one that they won't immediately slam the door on because racist fucks.
So there's a moment after your knock, you sort of hear some, like, it's quiet, you don't hear any kind of verbal response, and then eventually you hear, like, a very, no, you don't, you, anyway, the door opens, and the reason it was so slow is because it's actually a older person. She appears to be human and probably in her mid to late 50s.
So a grandmama situation, possibly.
Can I help you? As she sees Cad.
No.
Sorry. Can I help you?
Yes, hi. We were wondering if we'd be able to talk to Zudi about something. This is where she lives, right?
Yes, Zudi. And she sort of turns around and slowly makes her way forward. And Zudi, are you here? And then, after a moment, you see a human. Weird name for a human kid, but that's fine because mostly elven town. And you see a female human, probably close to your age, Locke. She's like maybe 12, maybe 14.
Yeah, like 3 years younger than me at this point because I'm 17 now because my birthday came and went in game. But okay.
Yes. And she comes down and then sort of, yeah. These folks here would like to speak to you for a moment. And yeah. You now have a about 14-year-old girl. What's going on?
You're friends with someone named Zephyr, yes?
Yeah.
All right.
We hang out all the time.
Right. Well, we're stopping by to talk to you because it would appear that last night she went missing.
Thing? About that, she always seemed to take trips out. She especially liked when we went over to the circus and stuff.
Right, and that does seem to be the thing. According to her mother, the last person that I'm aware of who saw her, she claimed that she was going out to spend some time with her friends, but near as I can tell, that didn't happen, and her mother is under the assumption presently that she ran off to the circus on her own, and is worried because apparently Zephyr's mother thinks the circus is a bad thing. I just got here, so I can't comment on that one way or the other, but either way, a kid's missing, so is there anything you could tell us that might help us along? We are trying to find her and make sure she's alright, so.
Well, Zephyr's mom's always been a little... She sort of looks back, and her grandmother has sort of made her way back inside Cad without having to really roll for it or anything. Your keen nose perception, the grandmother appears to be brewing some sort of a tea.
Okay.
And after she's noticed that her grandmother's walked away, she's not everyone here likes the circus. It's not a bad place. I don't think so. But it's different than what a lot of people here would prefer to have around and be around. So there's a lot of people that get upset by
things that are different.
Yeah, and she actually gives a almost, well, not almost, she gives a outright apologetic look towards Cad, and she's sorry about the people around here. They're too set in their own ways.
Preaching to the choir on that one.
I sort of do a little half respective bow. I'm not showing I'm not upset. It's okay.
All right.
As far as I know, the circus is a safe place. I never really noticed anything weird or crazy going on. I'm not entirely sure why Zephyr would want to go, but she might. I know that she was having trouble. So Zephyr's not her real name. Zephyr is a nickname that she chose for herself when she was hanging out with us. And her mom didn't like it, and I guess maybe something to do with sort of identity there. Be yourself, and her mom let her, and then the circus lets her. I don't know all the details.
All right. Have you been to the circus with her before?
Yeah. We went there a couple days ago, like as a group. We had like a chaperone, one of the only adults in town, to with the circus.
All right.
And we went out there and we saw it. It was really cool. A lot of the tricks and acts. And, I mean, okay.
Right.
I know magic is a thing, but I'd never seen any kind of magic like this before. The ringmaster could fly. It was crazy.
Okay. Back up a sec. Don't get carried away now.
Sorry.
No, I get it. Childish enthusiasm, all for that. But while you were there, did you seem to?
Who are you saying childish enthusiasm? You're not much older than me.
Condescending.
Okay, I apologize. Okay, I do apologize, but in my defense, I have seen some things you probably can't even imagine. So I think I've earned it, but I do apologize if that was offensive. Wasn't my intention. But back on track. While you were there, did she seem to take a shine to any particular attraction? I'm assuming this is like a multi-tent setup, or is it just one big one that's the star of the whole show?
They have a lot of smaller tents that sort of, I guess they serve as like dressing rooms or something, but most of when the big show goes down, all the acts are in the one big tent.
Okay. Don't know why I was thinking it would be something bigger. This isn't like the county fair in my hometown in real life, so for some reason I was imagining the county fair where I live. You know, with like roller coasters and trapeze artists and shit. I don't know.
It's more like the thing is, if you think about it, in this kind of world, a circus would have to be able to travel around and sort of tour, as it were, would have to be small enough to be portable, but magic makes things complicated and interesting anyway, so theoretically somebody could, put it all together, but if one wanted to not...
But this one isn't that case.
Yes, if one wanted to not appear creepy and crazy powerful with magic, they would probably want their circus to be smaller and more portable.
Fair enough. And now I just got the idea to one day make a gnome character whose dream it is to make his medieval fantasy world's very first amusement park, complete with roller coasters and,
yes,
and trebuchets and things like that.
Yes. Anyway.
Okay, so it's all centralized around one big tent. That makes things relatively easier. Okay. All right. That eliminates a few questions I was going to have if it was a larger affair. Okay. Anything else you can tell us that might be of any help, or is that about it?
Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about, I don't quite know Zephyr as well as some of the others do. Like, Arlet's around Arlet much more than me.
One of our colleagues is over talking to Arlet right now.
Okay. You'll probably get more information out of him than you did me, assuming that he gets a chance to... All I can tell you is Zephyr had secrets. I don't know what they were because she wouldn't tell me, but was perceptive enough to pick up on some things. There's something that's different about her, and I think that might be why she likes the place. It's a place where it feels good to be different, you know?
I just kind of crack a small smile and with a wakened mind say into her head, huh, being different, huh? Oh, we'd fit right in.
She sort of looks around like, whoa, what?
I just kind of waggle my eyebrows. Told you, I've seen things you wouldn't be able to imagine.
Can you hear my thoughts right now?
Only if you think them directly at me. I mean, I can't go perusing around in your memories for your deepest, darkest secrets. So, and even if I could, I wouldn't. But, I just kind of tap my forehead. I can talk to people within 30 feet. Very convenient. Don't even have to speak the same language.
That's really cool.
It is absurdly cool, remarkably creepy, and absurdly useful. And then out loud I'll say, all right, well, thank you very much. You've been a big help. We'll let you know if we find anything, all right?
Okay. If you do find her, she's safe, okay? That's all that...
I mean, that's why we're looking, so that's part of the job description.
That explains it, y'all. You're an adventuring party. Duh. That explains the armor and the elephant. Sorry. Loxodon.
No, it's fine, it's fine. We call him the elephant in the room all the time. I give Cat a sideways smirk.
I roll my eyes.
Okay.
I punch him lightly on the shoulder. Alright, I think we should be getting a move on. We're supposed to be rendezvousing with the rest of our group to discuss our findings.
Okay. And, she goes back inside.
And I will hop on Cad's back and point dramatically into the distance as if to entertain the kid as we're leaving.
Alright.
Sure.
Onwards, noble steed! Kind of thing.
Yeah!
Doink. And we just teleport right over.
Yep. Alright. So eventually, everyone sort of reconvenes in front of the mother's house. And Oak and Young sort of, once they get to you, they're like, well, that was, in some cases, useful, in some cases, not useful at all. I hope you guys had better luck than we did.
Define luck.
So.
Well, I suppose, the one that got the best information is probably Silver. One good thing that kid gave us was Zephyr hung around Arlet a lot.
Heard about that ourselves, too.
This is where Silver shares the information that she knows.
We also heard that there's a person over there at that circus who can fly, apparently, so that's fun.
Yeah, she does. Are we in front of the mother?
In front of the mother's house. No one has knocked on the door yet.
Go ahead, get your boot ready. Wham!
Silver's actually going to cast Detect Magic. And then knock on the door.
Of course, you could have told Locke, and Locke could detect magic without a spell slot. But anyway,
It doesn't matter.
no, that's fine. So you cast detect magic.
Uh-huh. And then she knocks on the door.
Right. Okay. So
I imagine Locke noticed you casting Detect Magic because of...
you would probably know what it looks like. Yeah.
So then Locke will just blink, his eyes will start glowing purple, and he has it on too.
I
mean, it's fine. So you knock on the door, there's a brief pause, and then a clatter, and then immediately the
It's
woman...
just vocal.
Hmm?
For detect magic. I
Well,
just looked at Warcaster. I can do it by just saying something.
Oh yeah, that's right, because Warcaster gets rid of somatic components.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so you cast detect magic, Locke cast detect magic, and there's a brief pause and a clatter, and then the woman opens up the door, and both of you immediately can tell that there is an illusion aura around her.
May we come inside, ma'am?
Have you found her or information? What? Yes, yes, yes. And pulls everybody inside. Not everybody can fit into her house, but it's fine. At least on the map, but it's fine.
Okay. I wait until everyone's inside.
Yep.
And close
Everyone makes
the
their way
door.
inside. Or
Zephyr gonna like kind of gesture at her and be like, "You can drop that."
it makes sense. I suppose that you venturing type could pick up. And she sort of looks around at no one inside the house and drops it. And she is a female tiefling.
Yeah. This is the information I found out.
Fascinating.
I just found out the kid was a tiefling. I just wanted to check to make sure. Because I had a theory.
In a very friendly manner, I bow respectfully to her.
Yeah, Locke's sort of neutral demeanor doesn't really change one way or the other. He just kind of maintains it because, like, okay, tiefling, so what? Who cares?
Right.
It's this town.
Yeah, I know. I'm not racist. I'm not going to comment on it.
I suppose Zephyr probably told somebody, and that's how you found out. Arlet, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Well, he just said she was a tiefling. So.
No one here knows that I am.
Why settle in this town when you can't live comfortably here?
Grew up in this town. I was not born a tiefling.
Huh?
Because you see, when in some particular cases with tieflings background, because tieflings in the standard lore can be childs of other tieflings, or they can be that demonic or demon heritage, could be literally one of their parents is a demon. And when that happens, a child of said union doesn't always develop tiefling traits until later in life. They sort of grow into them as they age, horns and tails and things like that. So she is a first, in that sense, she is a first generation tiefling. Because she is one, her daughter is one. Wherever her dad is irrelevant, but essentially the idea here is mother grew up in this town. Mother and grandmother perhaps ran off when she started developing traits of a tiefling. And then she came back because this was the town she grew up in. But she had to disguise herself as her wood elf form to be welcomed back in. And she wanted to instill in Zephyr to do the same so that Zephyr could remain here. Unlike her, Zephyr didn't want to stay here. At least that's how it seems. And without... She sort of divulges the basis of that story to you guys in a more...
Okay.
I just want to make sure my daughter is safe. If she doesn't want to stay here and wants to... Suppose I shouldn't have pushed her to hide who she was so early, but I was hoping that when I came here, I was hoping that, like me, she wouldn't show tiefling traits as fast, but I guess when you're born a tiefling, born of a tiefling, I don't know.
All right.
Well, if I may, I forget. Did we get this woman's name?
You did not.
I don't believe so.
We
Did
got
not.
her kid's name, but we didn't get
Yeah, we got
hers.
her address.
But we didn't
not
get her
her
name.
She theoretically she would have given you her name. I just forgot to do it. Zinzira.
Zinzira. Okay, I'll put that down here.
We did have that one. I just forgot to give it to you.
All right.
We are some top grade investigators.
I'll have Locke just kind of clear someone say, it's Zinzira, right?
Zinzira.
All right, Locke will sort of clear someone and be like, if I may, Zinzira, and I don't mean any disrespect with this, but I honestly think you're making a mistake staying here at this point.
I should leave too.
I honestly think it would probably be for the best if you and Zephyr didn't stay here. I mean, for one thing, from everything I've seen, this is a town where being different doesn't get you anywhere, and that is something I know only all too well. Held me back for a long time. And if the truth were to ever come to light in an unfavorable circumstance, like by accident or to someone who you couldn't trust, the backlash would be bad and potentially dangerous for you and your child. And forcing both of you to, of your own will, to stay in such a hostile or potentially hostile environment is only going to do two things. It's going to put both of you at risk, and it's going to put a strain on both of you at the same time. Your relationship, your safety, all of those things will be put at risk the longer you stay in an environment that isn't conducive to you being who you want to be. I had to learn that lesson the hard way. I may be really young, but I'm not an idiot, and I already know that lesson, and so I'm telling you right now, as someone who went through that, don't make your child go through it too. If things were to fall apart like that, it would potentially leave scars that she could never get rid of.
Guess you have a point. Suppose she's older now, she wouldn't need the structure. Chooses to go off with a circus rather than staying here. Perhaps I did coddle her or shelter her too much.
At the end of the day, the way I see it, home is where you make it. It's not where you were born, it's not where you grow up. I gesture at the people next to me. Cheesy as hell as it may sound, I consider wherever this bunch is my home now. That's my choice to make.
I'll have to think. I enjoy being here. This is my home, but that's only as long as no one figures anything. I suppose if it's as easy, some degree of a magic spell or other to figure it out, then glad that no one here uses that kind of magic. I still don't know what to think of the circus. What I've seen,
Well,
they favor the bizarre and different a little too much. If that makes sense. Like, and it's clear that you, Locke, in her saying this, that not only was her staying here her choice, but so was the disguise. He actually doesn't seem to be real comfortable with her real self.
Well, at the end of the day, it's not my call or anyone else's what you do with your life or your daughter's for that matter. I'm just giving some insight. We'll head out, we'll find the circus, we'll make sure she's all right, and at that point, I personally would at the very least suggest having a long conversation about it. A serious one.
I agree. So if you do find her, make sure the circus is safe, and tell her that I apologize for being so restrictive. Maybe that will help to push her. The more she would go out and spend time with her friends, the more I would worry that someone would find out, and I think I just became effective in that. And
She's not
at this
gonna find
point,
herself, is she?
at this point, Oak will speak up, and families are hard things. Differencing in opinions and thoughts, and it can be tricky. But if she cares for you, you will come back. If you... I would hope that you haven't ruined your relationship with her. But that has to be her choice. We can do what we can, but we will... And there is this just sort of nods. I do thank all of you willing to listen, and sorry that had to be misleading myself. And then she just sort of starts to go and sit down and sort of mull about it herself. Leaving you guys to do whatever you please. I don't know if anyone else wants to have a conversation with her or anything.
I guess we're off to the circus?
We're off to see the wizard.
No.
Oh.
We're off to join the circus.
No.
Oh,
That's double no.
Because
Alright.
everyone wants to see Anna as a clown. Doo-doo.
No.
after the pictures I've seen in this chat, I do not want to see that.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Anyway,
Yep. Guess we got whacked with a hammer for a plot line, so off we go to the circus.
Yep.
did indeed. About that. Look, I totally did not take you anywhere. Now, you guys make your way back to the circus. Back towards the circus. It was next to this water over here. It's fairly a distance away. It's kind of impressive that the one got here all by her lonesome, but she knew the trek and had some wits about her. She could make her way there. But yeah. So you guys make your way out and make your way to the circus then. Okay. So you make your way to the circus. It's actually basically a day to get back out that way. So it's impressive that she made that way all by her lonesome. I'm actually going to probably put the circus near this forest to make it not quite as far. Still near the water, but not quite as far away from the thing. And it does sort of make sense they would want a sort of foresty backdrop. But yeah, you guys make your way to the circus. How are you approaching said circus? Just normal? It's middle. It would be about the evening time, or afternoon, evening by the time you get all the way over there.
With Locke on my shoulders and spring in my step. Boom, 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 boom.
Sure.
Sure, okay, we're just gonna walk up to it, I guess.
Yeah, we're not doing anything particularly extravagant. We're just walking.
You guys make your way to the circus. There's a few smaller tents just sort of scattered about. And seeing as how this is a show that chose to start performance in the relatively mid of the day towards into the late evening, they seem to be getting pretty close to their big finale.
Okay. I know Silver's just gonna go in.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of crowds, so big finales seems to be less of a show and more of a just like practice-based performance. And Silver's just gonna go in.
Yeah, she's just gonna go in, try to get not as close to the ringside, but buckler.
Do you kick the flap open or do you not?
And I'm just chillaxing on Cad's shoulders as per the use. So where he goes, I go.
She's just gonna go in and cross her arms and wait.
There's a brief moment as you're seeing all these different performances and such things, and one thing that probably picks up on Silver's attention, like majorly, is there appears to be a young human woman, probably about 20-25, that is doing like the whole beast tamer thing with a full-on lion. A specifically lioness, no mane. And she doesn't notice that you guys have stepped in, and she sort of stops with a chair, and she's like, "All right, that's good." And the lion, the lioness pulls a druid and shapeshifts into her real form, which is a Leonin. So she doesn't change very much.
Oh, that's cheating.
She doesn't change very much. And she sort of looks and seems we have some visitors to you. And the human woman looks back over towards you. Sorry, this is just practice right now. Our show's not for another night or two. Can we help you?
Here's the ringmaster.
You want to speak to the ringmaster, huh?
That, or you can just simply tell us where this little girl is.
I forgot to ask her age.
About what?
We're gonna guess she's around like 13 years old.
Hold on. And she sort of leaves the tent, and is followed quickly behind the lioness tabaxi, as it were, which I do have a picture for her. It's just not a token. It's a very large picture because I like the picture too much. I didn't want to ruin it. Boop.
Okay.
Yes, Wesley, good call. Anyway,
Did you see who spoke before Wesley?
Wow.
Okay, so you make your way inside, and you're sort of waiting, and those that are still outside the tent see a human woman and a Leonin female make their way out.
Silver's following them.
Yep. And to one of the smaller tents over here, the human woman sort of leads you over that way, and Milo, you busy? Planning anything? And Silver, you are presented with a
Guessing whole group is presented with.
yeah. The group is then presented with Milo, whose dress and garb appear to be that of the ringmaster, and he is he appears to be half orc, but some of his features seem a bit off, and he's not quite a half orc as the way you've seen him before. And he has tattoos and long hair because, you know, why not? Boop. And long ears.
Interesting.
And he's yeah. What can I do for you?
We're looking for a little girl.
That doesn't surprise me. She says that she was allowed to come this way, and I assumed not. She's perhaps in the other tent on the other side doing some stretches and training. She's needing to return home, isn't she?
So I was just gonna sit there on my own, just like suspiciously, and then I guess head towards the other tent.
Upon reaching that, you see a sort of an older woman. She appears to be a tiefling, though you're not quite sure because you haven't really seen tieflings of this persuasion before. She's an odd color. She's purple. And beside her is a very bendy and stretchy, yes, yoga, young tiefling girl. Boop.
Yes, yoga. Okay.
Because pose.
Ah!
So when she waves at us, does she like just wiggle her foot, or?
Wait, is that the old lady or the kid?
No, that's the kid that's doing like yoga stretches right now as you guys come in. And yes, it's very her hair is stark white, so that yeah, she's an interesting little kid, but she does appear to be roughly about 12 or 13. And she sort of sits up more straight as you guys come in. She's, all the people. Hello. I thought the show was later. Show is later. Woman coming to speak to you. She's, what's going on, folks? What do you need?
We need to have a chat with her.
Okay. And Zephyr sort of stands up and follows you, or goes towards you to leave the tent. Is everything okay? I'm not really used to being summoned by crowds yet.
That's fair since you just recently ran away to the circus.
You... And then she gets immediately just sad. My mom sent you, didn't she?
She was freaking out pretty good.
I couldn't stay there. This... She sort of just, like, sways at her horns and her hair and moves her tail. This is who I am, not some half-elf. Or...
We know, we talked to your mother and friends.
Did you get Mom to reveal who she was, too?
It wasn't that hard.
Considering, I let my eyes glow purple. Like half of our party can see through things like that with relative ease.
Okay, that's really cool. Can I learn that? No.
I mean, to be fair, I just kind of got it. Like, I don't know how I even begin to teach anyone how to do half the crap I do.
You have a weird thing that gives you weird things.
I have a tall, towery, tentacly guy with a giant yellow eye who makes me do magic crap. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Oh, really? Milo, the ringmaster, comes up behind you and he's like, "Oh, really? You too, huh? Mine's a skeleton. Cool. Anyway."
I look back at him. Ah, where'd you come from?
We just slowly look at him and be like, "Skeleton. Ah. Okay."
Like, can I just have Locke panic invisibility?
Yes.
Oh, dear
yes, you
God.
can, because that's funny.
This person just sneaks up behind us. Ah, just disappears.
Where did Locke?
It'll cost me one of my 2 spell slots, but it'll be worth it for the joke.
Yes, it's fine.
Where did he go? God damn it.
Locke sort of speaks up. It's like, "Locke, you turned invisible. Turn it off."
Oh.
Oh, if you're here, just go stay up on Cat's shoulders. He'll protect you with his ears.
I climb up and I wrap myself up in his ears like a big fluffy blanket. Or a big leathery blanket, I suppose, to be more accurate.
Okay, so Cad Cad now has a turban, what it looks like, made of ears, and Locke.
Looks head is sticking out.
Okay. Sorry, I moved quickly when I wanted to make sure that young Zephyr here wasn't in trouble or anything.
I mean, it honestly will depend on her. Like I said, we talked with your mother and stuff and kind of pointed some things out to her.
It felt really weird being the 16-year-old giving the mother figure of a situation a harsh scolding on life lessons.
Milo sort of just like does this long nod type thing, and he's, oh, kid who's been through some things. I know what that's like. I'm a lot older now, but I grew up fast too.
Much older than you, Locke, so Anyway, the point is, maybe before you fully decide to dedicate yourself to the circus is to go have a chat with your mother.
That's probably true. I can't stay there. If she tries to, like...
We know. We told her that it's probably not best if you have to sit there and hide yourself every day. It's not good.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go back then. Mr. Milo, sir, you can go home. It's fine. Okay. I guess I'm following you back home, or I can get there myself. I got here.
We'll walk back with you.
Yeah.
And maybe if you can return fast enough, you can see the end of the show.
They were just practicing. Okay.
Maybe.
And at you saying they were just practicing, Milo just sort of nods and he's like, exactly. The show's the show.
We'll see. We do.
And I don't need any practice. I perfected mine anyway. So. They don't call me Nosedive for anything.
Oh. Whatever. So I guess we go back to the town.
By the time you get there, it is nightfall and rather late. The guards, which has changed from the previous guards that were there, sort of welcome you back in without much issue. And you return to Damapur.
Woohoo!
See.
And immediately upon getting to her mother's house, Zanzira's, like, as you knock on the door to go inside, she initially comes to the door in her wood elf form and then immediately drops it upon seeing who you are and seeing that you have Zephyr along with you. Zephyr, I'm sorry. I sheltered you too much. I didn't give you a chance to be who you wanted to be. And she, nice little happy reunion. Sort of, I'm sorry too, back and forth kind of a thing. I figured that the more antisocial people of this party don't want to get into the middle of that little happy reunion.
Just standing back waiting.
Okay.
As soon as their touching moment is over, they look up to us. We have a hand held out. Where's our cut?
No, let's not do that.
Oh.
At least not that way, anyway. Okay. So He's safe there. She says that the ringmaster is nice. Even if he does look a little strange. I think I will travel with them for a while. And this is Gen Zero. I think I will travel with them for a while. Just so that I can let Zephyr be who she wants to be and give me time to figure out who I want to be.
Probably a good course of action.
Alright. And yeah. And she comes to Silver and Cad both, and she's thank you both, all of you, for helping my daughter and me. Probably
It's
is best.
fine. I kind of figured she was making a mistake just losing a parent.
Thank you. And she's we need to make sure that you get some sort of payment about this. I really do appreciate it. I don't have a whole lot. I only work at as the local apothecary, and a lot of the money goes into maintaining the store. But I can give you some, not a lot.
Well, we don't really need a lot. This is more like just a small bump on our way, not really much of a distraction.
No, we don't.
And besides all of that, honestly, Locke will just kind of lean back a bit and put his hands behind his head and kind of just relax the anime stereotypical paw pose and honestly,
On the back of Cad's shoulder somehow.
no, he just puts his hands behind his head. Like he's got like his feet tucked under Cad's chin or something to keep him up.
Right, yeah.
Just gonna put his head back there, his hands back, and honestly, I was just glad to be of help in a situation like this. Having gone through something that's at least comparable, I wouldn't have felt right if I said nothing.
Thank you, all of you. Zephyr, do you want to make your way back to the circus? There's still time. It's getting fairly dark. By the time you make it all the way there, it'll be well past dark. I would hope.
I'd say one more. I think one more night here would be good.
Yeah.
Too much running around, you'll exhaust yourselves, and that's not healthy.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. I'll sleep here then. Okay. And then Zenzero is like, and in the morning we will tell friends bye, and we will make our way to the circus. Both of us. Together. And mother-daughter hug and adorable. And then that's that. Hooray!
Okay, so that was wholesome as hell, and also had nothing to do with what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I know.
And hey, at least
And-
you're getting better at actually presenting us with a situation that gets our attention for side quests instead of just, there's a person sitting over there.
So, you guys would then rest in the tavern again because it's nighttime, unless you want to start your trek in the middle of the night.
No, we're not that dumb.
Nope.
Alright. So, you then, Why blame Walmart? No. Quit that.
Damn it! I was hoping you wouldn't see it. Okay.
Man. Okay. So, also, man. So you guys rest for the night, and you continue to follow through with your quest. Go through the north gate that is totally there and normal. and fine. And you begin making your way westward? West, I think?
I think so. If you'll take us to the world map, we can tell.
Yes, indeed. West. Boop.
Yep, west and then south.
Yep. For several more days of doom. Hooray.
Yay.
Yeah, for what it's worth, it was in fact the creation of Wesley that led to the creation of Milo Nosedive Umberos.
Mm-hmm.
Because Wesley had such a convoluted and specific backstory, I invented all of the key figures that he met in his travels. One of them was Milo as a carny working for a traveling circus. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
So for what it's worth, not that it's of significance in any way, shape, or form, but when Wesley said his name, when Wesley said Wesley with a question mark, that actually would have been Milo's voice.
Yep.
Because Milo was the one that named him that way.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Because prior to that, he was called all sorts of horrible things by the people that he was started with. But anyway,
Dumb bird, stupid kanku, feather brain, white shit.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. So moving on, you guys head westward and then southward, and aside from the occasional, before you get past the Cursed Hills, there is, those who would make high enough perceptions. I'm not going to bother rolling it because with you having Oak in the party, somebody would notice it. And aside from the, very large birds that seem to be hovering around the Cursed Hills, like flying rocks and things, not like rock as in the bird, rather than the thing. Yeah, your travel on the road and trek is peaceful and calm. You make your way southward towards Caverton. How far out from Caverton do you start to sort of break away because, you might be wanted in Caverton a lot?
Might be, he says.
Yeah,
I don't know. We've only knocked.
No, we
the
just
whole
need
city
to.
We've only knocked the city into high alert 3 consecutive times. No, we're fine.
We're just gonna go like this way. Just go around in a circle like there.
Yeah. I can
Okay.
take a day or so out from the city, just be like,
I mean, we could also follow the coast and then go down to the path and meet back up. Depends on how paranoid we're feeling.
The closer we get to Caverton, the more we run the risk of bumping into local law enforcement that doesn't like us. But the more we stick to the wilderness, the more likely we are to bump into dangerous animals that are likely to rip us a new one, because the wilderness ain't no place for low-level schmucks, and while we're mid-level, we're still not exactly perfect.
Nope.
So...
I don't even have an enchanted weapon worth a damn yet.
So, are you guys...
We're working on it.
I know, I have set in motion the gears that will change that, but it's gonna be a hot minute before I get it.
I mean, we have his crossbow.
Yes, the cursed crossbow that wants me to kill things. Notice how I emphasized worth a damn.
So, this poses the question. In theory, it is reasonable to say, since you guys have a map of, the general layout of the area, you could hug the coastline to make sure that you don't get lost, at least in amongst the field and things. It's relatively flat land, at least until you get to about here or so. So it's not like it's going to be hard to find the mountains. You can sort of keep them in the distance in front of you. But who is leading the charge? I'm assuming Silver.
Yeah. Isn't the temple over here somewhere?
Your temple on the top of the mountains?
Oh,
or was
my temple was up in the mountains and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But there is an indication of a pathway that leads up to it along the road. But I'm asking is Dahlia's temple. I know there was one around here somewhere. And then there was one on an island.
Dahlia's temple, in relation to Saglant's Bluff, was on the bottom of it. When Ubara gave you the indicator for it, she sort of pushed that it was closer to the front of the, at least on the map, front of the thing, near the road, but way off into like the lower part of the mountain itself. Whereas you built a temple on top, your temple was built on top of the bluff. Dahlia's was sort of built kind of into the bottom of it.
Well, my temple is it's not on top of it. It's also in it stuff. It's in the mountain and stuff, and also goes to it also has a cliffside that it a half circle cliffside that it also comes out onto.
Right. Yeah. Yep. So your Dahlia's temple would be opposite.
Why would we let that get so close? Okay.
Yeah. It did get pretty close to you. Yep. As far as you know, when you were there and what you had grown up with, there was never any other temples that were that close. So something's changed somewhere.
Been a secret one.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. So you guys make your way across. It's relatively easy. Whoever wants to lead the charge, I'll say survival at advantage, because wouldn't he be... Silver knows where she's going, and I'm assuming she's going to be the one to roll survival. I don't know how well it is for her. That good, huh? Oh, okay.
It's just a +1.
Alright. So yeah, you sort of lead everybody to Saglant's Bluff as far as you know it, rather effectively. You guys are having to camp how many times in the wilderness away from the road? Probably twice, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright. So, first set of watches away from the road itself, we will do perceptions from those that are sitting to keep watching things.
First set?
Because you're going to be, doing it twice.
Yeah. So who's the first watch?
I think typical was Oak and Young would sort of do their watch together, so it was 4 watches, so it was probably and Silver was usually last, so...
Yeah.
Between Cad and Locke, who wants to go before the other?
I can go first.
You mean second? And it's going to be Oak and Young first watch, then Cad, then Locke, then Silver.
Okay.
Oh yay!
Ooh.
Young sees a whole lot of nothing.
She starts to doze.
Yeah, probably. And then Oak, his watch is rather uneventful, though he starts to he keeps an eye out and he hears the animals of the forest, and doesn't seem to be anything he's going to comment on when he goes to wake up Cad. So perception check, Cad. Ooh! Wow.
So I perceive 24 and I smell 25.
God, nat 20 and nat 20 with advantage, and the roll before the nat 20 was a 19. Good grief. So yeah, it's a relatively peaceful night, but there's a sort of eastward. I want to give you something, might as well, because drama, well, not drama, but tension. There's a sort of eastward wind that's going past where you guys are, and with that high enough nat 20 keen sense of smell, there is a faint smell of that you've smelled fairly often at this point because of last couple months ago. Yeah, there is a faint smell of decay in the air coming from the west.
Where are we now? You haven't moved our token yet.
Oh, right. You are about here.
Oh, okay.
So west of us would be coming from the mountain specifically.
Probably, yeah. Best that you can figure, especially with the nat 20.
So like a day and a half away, so well over 30 miles away.
Oh yeah, there's
That's a lot of stench.
Yeah, it is.
The entire mountain would have to be one giant decaying corpse for that to be a thing.
If there's a decently enough wind that sort of brings it that way, then and strong sense of smell, I think it's possible. Although you don't necessarily know that if what you are smelling is coming from the mountain itself, it just might be near it. It is to the west. Yeah. So you pick up on that, Cad. You can do with that as you please. And next to be waking up for his watch would be Locke.
Alright.
During the trade-off of post, I point to the mountains. Stinky.
Of course you do.
I relay to Locke the faint wafting odors of decay coming from the gentle west origin wind.
Alright.
If you're trying to pick up on that, you theoretically could kind of sort of have advantage, but if you wanted to just roll it straight for your own perception, see what you notice.
I'm just rolling for my watch, is what that was.
Yeah, okay. Everything seems peaceful to you with a roll of 10.
Yeah. Good.
Seems fairly quiet. You don't hear a whole lot of night animals. Alright. Your watch is over with, I suppose, and now it's 2 silver.
13.
Anyway.
Oh boy.
So 13. Calm and peaceful night into the morning. You don't get a sense of anything odd. Yeah. Fairly calm and peaceful. From what Silver remembers, sort of growing up in and around the bluff and the mountains, her time in the bluff and the mountains, how vicious was the wildlife in and around the mountains typically?
Oh, what was it?
Well, how vicious or what was it typically that she's used to seeing, perhaps hunting down below the mountains?
Well, I mean, there's not much trees around in the area and stuff, and it kind of gets more. I figured it kind of get more rocky around.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there could be a chance of like a bear, maybe wolves.
Yeah, sort of mundane, simple animals. You didn't get a whole lot of visitors from like rocks or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Seems fairly calm and peaceful for the morning. Morning comes up, you guys pack up, and you sort of get ready to head on to the next couple days. Do you mention to anyone other than Locke your stinky, as it were, Dad?
Well, I mean, I told Locke. I guess it was up to him if he told anyone else.
I'm sure I'll have regaled Silver with the news that apparently the mountain or something in the general direction of the mountain smelled like dead people.
Well, that's not good.
Yep.
So we're moving on to our next stop.
Yep. Next stop for the day, which would be there, I think.
Sure.
Close enough. Should be about a day's. So yeah, okay. So perception, same order, because fun. You and your crazy high perception roll. Boop. Okay. Young. You're probably not going to get a whole lot of anything. Nope. Okay. Yep. So things still seem sort of calm and peaceful. Oak will regale to you, Cad, when he wakes you up, that after you sort of pointing out the smell of death and decay and things, that it's quiet, but too quiet. Basically. That if there is death and decay and other such things, it's probably done something to the wildlife that is in the immediate area near where you are.
Okay.
Yep, it is to you, Locke. Or, well, Cad, sorry. 13. You're closer? Even with the 13? Yeah, there's very clearly death and decay. In the relatively, probably within a couple... I don't know how well your sense of smell would be able to indicate how far something is away from you by smell, but it's... You get the sense that it's not at the mountains. It's just close to it. It's between you and the mountains. Whatever it is that you're getting a whiff of, it's between you and the mountains.
So, I have a question. Specifically in this region, because I'd be very familiar with this region, even if I didn't go outside the city that much, would I know what kind of wildlife might be active at night that I should be able to see or see signs of? Can I see anything that should be up at night that's not, or anything like that?
Well, there's not a whole lot of forests in this immediate area. There would probably be, like, the neighborhood of some, nocturnal wildlife that should be wandering around this time of night. Not anything majorly dangerous, like stuff like raccoons and things of that nature probably would make the most sense. But, yeah, you're not seeing any of it. You don't know if that's because... Actually, roll nature. I don't know if you have a proficiency in it, but roll nature. Nice. So you get the sense that either the wildlife in the immediate area has just ran off, or it's just not here, or it could be that death and decay that you're smelling might be related to animal life rather than like something as terrifying as human life. But it very well may be connected to your sense of decay that you're smelling, that there's no animals around. A relatively easy connection to make.
Okay. So when I wake up Locke to tag out, I will relay that along to him. The smell may be related to the fact that there's no night wildlife around us that's normally here. They could be related incidents.
Oh, great. All right. I will probably not be sleeping again after this. Fantastic. Just what the doctor ordered.
If a bear sneaks up on you, just wake me up.
I think I'll probably wake everyone up with how loud I'll be screaming because it's a fucking bear.
I sort of pat him on the shoulder. I'm joking, man.
Alright, so lock perception roll.
Yeah.
Whoa.
12.
Yeah. Same as before. There's not really a whole lot going on. Animal life seems very calm, and peaceful.
But then everything changed from the Fire Nation attack.
Well, this might just be your imagination because you're paranoid because of the crazy scary joke that Kat just gave you. But I imagine that this area does have those sparse, it does have some trees and some like vegetation and brush and things. It's just mostly sparse until you get closer to here. You hear something. It's like the sound of... It's very faint, and you're not quite sure if it's just your own paranoia. But there is movement relatively close to camp. You just can't see anything. There's now suddenly movement where there was none before.
I am not happy about this.
Mm-hmm.
Locke will The other sneakiest member of the party is Yang, right?
Yep.
Okay. Then I will have Locke go over to her and well, actually no, I'll have him maintain his normal composure but awakened mind to Yang in an attempt to wake her up. And just kind of say, "Psst, hey, Yang.
Yeah, what?
Can I wake you up like this?"
Mm-hmm. What?
There's
Why are you in
something-
my head? I was asleep.
Something's moving nearby. I don't know what it is. I'm being safe rather than sorry. Figured I'd wake
Okay.
you up because you're the other sneakiest person in the group.
Right, okay.
I sort of nod vaguely in the direction the sound is coming from. It's coming from that way. How do we want to play this? I mean, if it's nothing, you can just go right back to bed, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, like I said.
Right. Well, if you want to, I can go that way. I can sneak and go that way, see what I can find.
All right.
Maybe you can stick around here. What did it sound like? Could you tell?
What did it sound like? Could I tell?
It sounded like, best you could tell with a 12, it sounded like very, like, footsteps and movement, but it was like whoever was making the footsteps was making somewhat louder noises because it was strange. It was like there was step, 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 thump that was much louder. Step, step, step. It was very like intervaled or like staccato, like broken.
All right. I will regale this to Yang. It was like a staccato steps, like not an even pattern, like step, 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 thump, step, step, just all over the place.
That okay.
The closest thing I can think of is anytime you get drunk and try to lean on someone and fail because they don't want to bear your weight.
Oh, fine. Okay, throwing shade now. I see. Anyway.
Okay. And that laugh is in character, by the way.
Yes. All right. I'll sneak and see what I can figure out. You stick around here. If anyone, how far How far can your awakened mind thing go? 30 feet, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find anything within 30 feet away. You just maintain that link just in case.
Will do.
And we'll see what we can do. Young is then going to roll stealth and then perception. Oh wow. Okay. So so Young gets up. She starts to make her way over there, and it doesn't take maybe about 10 paces or so away from camp, Locke, that you realize she is clearly not fully awake just yet, because she is being much louder than she would be normally.
I will then convey through awakened mind. Sure, stomp like an angry storm giant. That's sure to be stealthy.
Okay.
No, please, by all means. I'm sure the bells of Valhalla themselves would love to hear your performance.
Can you quit talking in metaphors when I just woke up? Jeez.
It's reminding me of one of the first rocket critical fails in the FFD6 game.
But she rolled high on the perception. Okay, that's creepy and weird, and it doesn't seem to have even seen me, even with my stomping like a frost giant. I don't know what that is. You might better wake up the others. I'm not sure about this. She seems genuinely like, it's not exactly afraid, it's more like some combination of afraid and confused.
Alright, then I will use Awaken Mind then to rapid fire to everyone else in the group and say, okay, get up. We got something that's spooking Young.
Okay. I'm assuming everybody wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
I said we will get up.
Yes. Okay. So, you guys get up, slowly begin making your way to, Young. And what you are presented with when you get there is, because Young sort of points it out to you, so I'm not going to have perception checks again. You see a humanoid, mostly, but he appears to be mostly male, as far as you can tell. And he is quite possibly the source of the death and decay smell that you were getting before, Cad, because he is full on missing parts of his flesh. It has been rotted away.
We quickly pull out the bag of colding and offer him replacements. Oh wait, we dumped that out. Never mind.
That would be horrible.
So, just parts of skin is missing?
It's like the meaty parts of his flesh, of his calves, his legs, his arms, some of his stomach and chest area, and his eyes are gone. He's blind. And he is just very, 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 very messed up. And due to the nature of what happened the last time Oak wanted to go and help somebody that turned out to be an issue, Oak immediately turns to both Silver and Locke and is like, detect magic thing. Is this real or an illusion?
Link, eyes purple.
Uh-huh. So, Locke, you do detect magic. There is no form of magic aura on him at all.
I'm not saying anything magic. Good or ill, any school, it's just blank.
Okay, in that case then, are you okay with me doing something to try to help him?
What kind of thing?
Like, heal him, so that he's not clearly dying and missing pieces. That's freaky. I've never seen anything just, like, rot flesh away like that.
Right.
Wait, don't you?
How close is the shambling person?
Maybe about 15 feet away at this point.
15 feet? Okay. I will use Awakened Mind on him. Am I able to establish a link, or is it rejected?
Yeah. You can get one.
Alright. Once I have the link established, I'll ask, what happened to you?
Have I found someone? What? This is out loud, by the way.
Right. Yeah, I'll say, stay calm. There are a bunch of people around you. Just stay calm. What happened to you?
How can there's these beasts. I was working with Jazar West, and I don't know. I'm dying. Can you help me? Magic? Something?
I'll nod over at Oak. Help him.
And then Oak immediately runs over and does a cure wounds type situation.
Silver's following him.
Yeah, so does anyone happen to have the name Jazar in their notes? Because it sounds familiar, but I don't remember, and I don't have it in my notes.
Nope.
Is that Dave?
You would not have this name in your notes. This is a new name.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So he does. Oak does cure wounds, and then as he's sort of looking him over and does the cure wounds thing, a very strange circumstance. His body heals partially, but a lot of his it's as if the eroding away of his flesh is not being immediately cured. And Oak, upon realizing this, he's like, great. And he switches gears from doing cure wounds to doing lesser restoration.
What's going on?
A curse?
I don't know if it's a curse or some disease. Whatever it is, it's something that I hope lesser restoration can fix. And because lesser restoration can fix both of those things, as long as it's not something harsh and whatnot. And so he does lesser restoration, and after a flash of magic and a brief pause, he's back. And he gets all of his facilities and abilities back again, and his body sort of returns to normal, and he just sort of slumps onto the ground unconscious.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, wondrous.
Does Silver notice anything about him?
Roll for me perception.
What type of clothes is he wearing? I must have missed
I mean,
that.
we're like up close.
Yeah.
11.
Well, it's not immediately apparent, considering a lot of his like attire and things was shredded whenever whatever happened to him started happening to him. But based on what little bit of his attire remains, essentially it's about enough to just cover him, and that's about it. He vaguely reminds you of, weirdly, the cultists that was with Ulara. Like, his attire somewhat matches the kind of symbology that they were using.
Wait, I really thought we heard this name before when when the dwarf lady was talking to us. She said 2 names, and like one is like a really creepy that does augmentations, and the other one just flirts with everyone.
She told you about people that did things like that, and yes, those match up, but she did not give you names at the time.
Okay.
I'll look over at Oak and be like, huh, you can do that sending spell, right?
Yeah?
It might be prudent to check in with Alara, see if she knows anything about this guy. At least
Okay.
if she knows the name.
Okay, I can do that. And Oak will sort of close his eyes and meditate for a moment.
While he's
And-
doing that, Silver's gonna kneel down and just slap the guy, try to get him to wake up again.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Mean, but okay.
So you slap him. It's not hard to do. I'm not even gonna have you roll the attack. Because he's prone and like, what is your attack bonus?
Oh. I thought it was just like basically slapping someone is just 1 point of damage plus your.
Right, I know
Bonus.
that. I'm not talking about your damage. I'm talking about your attack bonus.
My attack bonus, it depends on.
Oh, well, whatever. It's fine. Your melee was what I was looking for, but ultimately it was just me sort of mathing that you would be able to hit him with advantage regardless because he's prone. Anyway,
And
yeah. So
Simply take 6 damage.
Well, I figured you wouldn't be hitting him
I
hard
mean,
enough
5
to deal
damage.
actual damage.
yeah, you're fine. You smack him to sort of wake him up, and he's
With us this time.
he's awake. What did you say, Silver? Sorry.
I said, stay awake with us this time.
I'm sorry, you don't know what I've been through. I was wandering around aimlessly for days to try to find somebody to help, and you'll have to forgive me for passing out.
Does he have his eyes back yet?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
And at this point, he sort of looks around, and he sort of sees who everyone is, and immediately he does that sort of stumbled crawl backwards.
You're gonna stay down.
Don't. You're the other.
We're the,
You
we're
were
the
who?
what?
You were the who was. We're going around to like destroy all of her shrines and things. And immediately, as he's doing that, Oak speaks up, and he's like, so, according to Ilara, Jazar is the one who likes to do experiments on things. As opposed to the flirty one. And this guy worked with him, but apparently, Jazar decided that he was done with that. So, what... We won't hurt you unless you give us a reason to.
What he said.
And Oak sort of leans down to him and just tell us what happened. And... assuming that there's no deception there, we will let you go on your way. Assuming that you're not going to go back and work for the person who tried to kill you. No. I'll go somewhere else. I'll go to Caverton. I'll turn myself... I don't know. He killed all of us. Or tried to.
Why?
I don't know. He was doing his experiments. He was working on things, and then all of a sudden he says that he is going to choose to favor traps over worthless bodyguards, and he sicks his flying dogs on us. I think I was the only
Flying
one that got it.
dogs.
Terrifying dogs, yes.
Oh, I thought he said flying dogs.
No, sorry, terrifying dogs. I won't go back to him. I can guarantee you that.
Well, considering you just told us, you'd be a dumbass if you did.
And he sort of just looks between you to see what any of you say. He's very, very scared.
Huh. Well, what do the rest of you think?
Silver just kind of gives a grunt
Well,
to us.
what?
And could he lead us to where this Jazar is?
Yeah, I can. I can get you there. I'm not going all the way there, but I can get you there.
It would be much
Sir.
appreciated.
Yeah, we would like to know if there's any secrets of getting in or anything. Anything that particularly Jazar hates.
I don't know. He was terrifying enough in his own right. Trying to figure out what he was afraid of just seemed impossible. He wouldn't show it to many people. I only caught glimpses of it because I came into his lab unannounced once. He has a drawing or something. For being so crazy and so evil, he had something he cared about, and I don't know what that was. Like a drawing of a picture of a person or something. I don't know. But that's all I know for any kind of secrets of him, other than him being like the most terrifying form of mad scientist I've ever heard of. Like his dogs are scary. I would watch out for
How
those.
so?
They for one have two heads. And
Joy!
And when they bite, it hurts a lot, and does. He sort of gestures at his self, whatever that was.
Oh, so you can't heal if they bite you. That's frightening.
And Oak sort of thinks about it for a second, and he's. So whatever the disease was that messed with you came from them. And the guy nods. I think Jazar called them his death hounds, death dogs. Apt name, I guess, but it's terrifying. But I can lead you there. I would rather do so in the morning, if that's okay. He sort of he sort of gets a very terrified look towards Silver.
No, that's fine. We were kind of in the middle of taking a nap anyway when this shit happened, so.
Okay. Yep. And yeah. I'm assuming you guys will lay down to rest for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. That happened in the middle of Locke's watch. Next to have watch would be Silver. And this guy that you've saved immediately just goes, he's out.
20.
Yeah, you sort of pick up on the quietness of the area around you, and it's as if all the wildlife that you're used to being, and it's all the nighttime wildlife that's in this immediate area is just not here. Very clearly something has scared it off, which quite possibly will be what you just learned about. Alrighty. So following that, you get up for the morning, and the human that you had saved, he sort of wakes up a bit slower. He ends up waking last of the party. I'm hoping that Silver doesn't just like get antsy and just wake him up anyway, like she did before.
Kick him.
Give him some degree of time to get some degree of rest. He desperately needs it.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, she doesn't have to. I don't remember what alignment you said she was.
She's lawful neutral.
Yeah, then she probably would wake him up. So, yeah. He gets up, and he starts to lead you guys more westward. And you guys begin to make your way. He sort of leads you more towards the proper direction, and he will get you close enough that you will be able to see in the distance your potential quarry, as it were. Which is me basically saying, because map. Yep.
Seeing the guy already took off.
Hmm. Oh, I don't have a token for the guy from before, but he is with
He wasn't
you.
even gonna get close.
He got as close as he would want to get, which was where you guys currently are. So, yeah. He bailed pretty quickly, assuming you guys let him do so. And it took most of the afternoon and evening to get here to this point, so you're coming up on his on Jazar's camp, as it were, at probably about 6 or 7 p.m. or so. And you immediately see, with the help of the guy sort of indicating it to you, the, like, very, from this distance, it looks to be a very crude barricade, and it seemed to be made of, like, lumber, metal, and other such materials. You're not quite sure what entirely it's made of. And then you have mounds that are in the immediate area, both before the wall and past it. And then you see some shadowy cloaked figure that you can't get a whole lot of his features, but his token is there. Way off in the distance. Very dark-skinned individual. And as it's getting closer to nightfall, he sort of just seems to be wandering about his area that he's made down here. He's not facing you guys. You guys can't get a whole lot of his features because he's facing away from you. Yeah. And that wonderness is what you are presented with. And we will end the session there. That's fine. You guys have made it to the wonders of Jazar's. Yeah. So we will end it there. I will do This has been Shadow's part, and I will give the next time to Brian. Yes. This has been Shadows of Gradiriel.
Join us next time as we probably get into a combat encounter with this Jazar guy and set about breaking the next of the Dahlia shrines that we're months late in breaking.
Sounds about right. Also, because you guys already know they're coming, death dogs. Ding.
Oh boy. Oh, 2.
Uh-huh. That you can see.
Or 4, depending on how you refer to them.
That you can see.